And we are live. Oh, hello, hello. I'm so happy to be here today with Starfish HH, who is also known as Jennie. So welcome to you, Jennie.
Hi, thank you. Thanks for, inviting me or letting
Sure.
me.
Yeah.
Hi,
Thank you for
everybody.
being here. Hi, everybody. Yeah. Um, so Jennie is in South Carolina, and that's why she has a little bit of sun behind her. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So Jennie, tell us a little bit about yourself, and why you picked Starfish as your. Hi, Ron.
Hi, Brian. So I live on the beach in South Carolina. Unfortunately, in a state that we don't like the governor, but
Yeah.
um, I live on Starfish Drive. So when I was, making my YouTube, log on, I just made it Starfish,
That's
and
awesome.
without really thinking about it too
Mhm.
much. But it's nice. I like it now.
Yeah, yeah, I do too. I think it brings real positivity, and obviously it has something to do with being in the near the ocean, and that's wonderful. So I'm
Yeah.
going to say hi to Deb, and I'm going to say hi to Sandra. You probably can't see it in your phone, but um, Jennie can't see it because she's on a phone, and
Yeah.
the chat doesn't show up. But I know she says hello to everybody as well.
Hi,
MK
everybody.
Karen, yep, Tracy, Jalicia, oh hi, and Snow Wolf. Thank you all for coming by. Libra Lady, wonderful. So yeah, Jennie and I met in a class that Susan and Kim uh, presented for us, and I met so many wonderful people there. A lot of them subscribers and in the chat all the time, and so I'm always pleased to be able to work with Jennie. Um, so how long ago did you come to YouTube to, I guess, find your resilience in times of COVID and fascism?
Well, I had come to YouTube before that because I went through the dark night of the soul about 6 years ago, and
Okay.
I lost all my hair because I thought I had beautiful, thick, gorgeous hair, and I
Mhm.
thought that it was my fault, and I kept beating myself up and beating
Um,
myself up, and it really wasn't my
right.
fault. After I started meditating. I started eating organic food. I only used organic products. I really changed my life. I wore a wig for 2 years, and then I got my hair back. Slowly but surely, I
Wow.
got my hair back. And when it came back white. And then it was white for like 5 inches, and then it came back really dark. So
Oh,
I think I'm the only person that has like had white hair on the bottom and dark hair.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah,
Strange.
so there
Eh,
was all these girls on YouTube, younger, who were talking about alopecia and showing off their wigs. So then that's when I realized everything you need to know is on YouTube. And
Pretty
so
much
I
you're right.
stopped,
I,
during the Trump years, I stopped watching the news. I do not watch
right.
the news. And so
Yeah.
I would get my news from YouTube, which is
Hmm.
great. You just get snippets here and there.
Snippets. Yep.
Yeah, which I like. I don't want to be brought down by that.
I
So yeah,
understand.
so then I started off with like just watching people do tarot, and that helped a lot. And then I found this community during COVID, and I was stuck in I live in a building that it's filled with tourists. And
Oh,
even at the beginning of COVID, they were coming down here from New York and New Jersey and staying in the building and staying around here. And they actually brought COVID here. And so I
I
felt
believe
like
it.
I was stuck. I lost my job at Marriott because they did the great firing of everybody.
Right.
And I couldn't even leave my condo, and I was just crazed. And I'm not an introvert, I'm an extrovert.
Oh, yeah,
So
you are.
I don't like people.
Uh-huh.
I got very depressed.
Hmm.
So I kept saying, watching everybody in this community, watching
Hmm.
Susan Lynn, Medium
Right.
Kim, and you, and all the
Hmm.
other really great readers,
Hmm.
Lena, you
Yep.
know,
Yep.
everybody.
Right.
And then
Well,
when I
you
started
all.
taking a class from Susan Lynn and Medium Kim, that's when I really met everybody. And
Uh-huh.
these people they're all so wonderful. They all
There.
just want to help the world. They want to
You're
help other
absolutely.
people. They want to help the world. I mean, this is an unbelievable, wonderful community. of people that want to do good.
You're absolutely right. There isn't anybody that I have met that isn't just the kindest person and interesting, and everybody's got like different interests, but it's basically the spiritual growth and that community feeling is within everybody that I've talked to. Yeah. Yep. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then this series of yours, I mean, it's been so great to get to know people individually and find out what their backgrounds are. And everybody is well educated. They have great talents and vision, and I mean, it's just really wonderful.
It really is. It's like because the internet and because YouTube opens up so much, that we are able to connect with people we would never have connected with in real life. Yeah,
I know. I mean, it's just amazing. People all over the world that are like minded. Just incredible. The people from Australia, the Canadians.
Yep, the UK. Yep.
Everywhere.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. It is. I just feel like we sort of have a little United Nations here, you know, and the support is really, really good. That story about your hair, that blows my mind. My mother went gray overnight, but she didn't lose hair, but she was 22 and she never got dark hair back. But you did, and that's just amazing.
Well, it's an autoimmune disease, but it came from, that's when I learned that every disease is spiritual. It starts at the spiritual level. So if you can go back to the spiritual level and fix it there, heal it there, then your body will follow.
Right. Right.
So I started meditating. I'm not a meditating kind of person.
Mm-hmm.
But I did.
You did it. You did it. Yeah. And you found big results. Right?
It worked. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So I just want to say hello to everybody. It's so good to see you all.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I want to talk to you, but I just want people to know you can't see the chat. So yeah.
Who's here?
Well, we got Vivian here. We got Deb H, Janet P. We got Melinda here. Shield Maiden, Divine Wisdom and Tarot. Sandra Falcon. Jalicia. Yeah, we just got a whole bunch of wonderful people here. And of course, Ron. Ron's here. He was here first. Yeah. I appreciate all of the moderators. I always do. They're just unsung heroes, and I wish them well. So tell us a little bit about your spiritual journey prior to this, with your interest in, I can't think of his name, Dr.
Peebles.
Dr. Peebles.
Since 2010, I started getting readings through Summer Bacon, and she's a trance medium, and she channels Dr. Peebles. And Dr. Peebles lived on the earth for 100 years. But now he's an angel, and he speaks for the band of angels. And Summer currently sends out weekly channels of what he talks about what's going on in the world, what to expect, how to deal with it. It's really amazing. And I've been studying so she has on her website, which is summerbacon.com, she has all these free teachings. So I started studying those at night when I couldn't sleep a long time ago, probably in around 2010. And so I feel like I've been the best teacher. If you have an angel teaching you, you can't get any better than that.
Can't get any better than that. That's right. Reminds me a lot of well, not exactly, but Edgar Cayce and what he did. It sounds something similar to that, although he wasn't on the other side, but he did that trance medium stuff. And so how did you find out about that? Were you on YouTube then?
No, I knew a person, a friend of mine, went to see a psychic in Phoenix every once a month. And her name is Ann Albers, and she is an angel communicator. And so she's really great. She sends out weekly messages from the angels just for free. Just sign up with annalbers.com. And I wanted a reading, and she was busy. She was booked out like a year. So she just said, well, why don't you call Summer? So I did. And then Summer tipped me in about 3 months later. And then I had that meeting with Dr. Peebles. And so over the years, when I've had a challenge, I would go to Summer and talk to Dr. Peebles.
And
it's really, it's fantastic. And also, so a lot of people maybe a lot of people in the chat know Braha Goldsmith.
Yes.
She's been
Yep.
interviewing Summer probably 3 or 4 times because Summer was Braha's teacher, and
Oh.
Braha channels the Palladians.
Right.
So
I didn't know she was her
they're
Summer's
together on
teacher.
YouTube,
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And all these people are interconnected. They kind of, we're all, it's like these little strings all around the world,
Right.
and
Right.
we find out about more opportunities from other people. And another person I really like is Ann Weber. She channels a lot of different people. And every once in a while, Lena Rodriguez will ask her a question, and then Ann will like put it in her email and channel somebody to answer that question.
Really?
So yeah.
Wow.
And then Susan Lynn and Miriam Kim, they're all great.
Oh yeah, they definitely are. And so have your gifts opened up? I mean, I think they really have, but
yeah.
From what I
when
can
I started
see.
taking the classes, I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And even when we were practicing, I'm like, I can't do this. And then somehow you would do it, and you go, wow, that was just amazing. And I love to read people, and I've done some readings for other people, and it just makes me so happy. It just fills me with this joy to do that. And then I've had a lot of good readings too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've gotten it opens. I think everybody at the basis has these abilities. You just gotta, just like a muscle, you gotta start working the muscle.
Yep. And I think there are people that are better at this than they might be at that, but that doesn't mean they aren't pretty good at this as well. I was telling that to Sophie yesterday when we were finished, and I said, I think you can communicate with animals. I really do. And because she has all these birds all around her, and so I just, I think we all have that. And we just have to be open to it, not afraid of it. Definitely not afraid of it. Yeah.
Right.
So, Jenny, would you consider having your own? Well, you already have a channel, but not a channel. You know what I mean? Would you want to do that?
No.
No.
I mean, I have a job now. I work at a large resort on the beach. So, and that's my way of helping people. I get to help people face to face all the time. So that's kind of my way of doing it. And I like just practicing and reading, but I do not want to channel. I mean, I can go on anybody's channel if I want to, So
you can, yes.
I'll just
absolutely.
Call somebody, Ellie.
Well, I've been waiting for you to come on here for a while, but I'm very patient, so I'm so happy you're here.
Well, you're so wonderful. You are so good at like interviewing everybody, and it's just remarkable. Your heart shows.
Oh, thank you, dear.
Like,
I feel like it's like you at the resort, and the way you work with those people. I feel like it's my mission, and my mission has been to teach at the college level, which I still like, but it's not quite the same as this. This just is, it fills me with joy. So, I think everybody's got what they're supposed to do, and we just all agreed we'll meet up here and we'll do this now, and makes us feel so good when we do. So,
but I'm going to keep it up. I'm going to keep practicing and keep taking lessons. I'm on a little lesson hiatus right now, but I'm going to keep doing that. And then when everybody meets up next summer, boy, I can't wait for that.
I know. I hope we do. Oh my God. Exciting. Yes. Oh, we really need to, honestly. Yeah. It would just be so. I remember I have talked about this before, but I had a spiritual community that was not like Facebook, but it was that social forum, and it was for spiritual people. And I found them in a Buddhist advertisement at the time, and I still have all those friends. We had to move over to Facebook, unfortunately, but that community really gave me what I needed then, and this one really gives me what I really need now. And it's just a blessing. It really, really is. It's great.
Yeah, we are blessed.
We are very blessed. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So how has this community provided you sustenance and love, and anything else that you want to say about what the community's done for you?
Well, it just has. I mean, there is love. I've made friends. really great friends.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I might have just gone off the deep end during COVID.
No, you weren't alone.
During the Trump 4 years, that was absolutely horrendous.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we're still not out of the woods.
No, we're not.
We are not out of the woods. And I don't usually say that.
I know.
I like to take the high road. And
we like to think positive.
My vibration high.
Yep. Absolutely.
And so I'm really teaching myself that if you say something, you start to go down. You got to say something to bring yourself back up.
Something to bring you back up. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's energetically, it's difficult and I'm not trying to make it more difficult, but in the States, some of the southern states, you've got a lot of pushback if you're a liberal or you're even a, meeting of the road, middle of the road. But my stepdaughter lives in what's the name of it? Oh, Charleston. She lives in Charleston. She works at the VA hospital. She's wonderful, and she doesn't let anything bother her. She's very liberal, but I wonder if that's a challenge living in a red state.
I think that's a talent. That's a talent. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But I've learned how to, from
work around it.
I've learned how to, I used to get upset at the traffic. I would get upset at everything. I still get upset at the tourists, and we call them Tourons now. They've just been so demanding and just horrendous, not thoughtful or loving at all.
Yep.
So you gotta. So I learned something from Susan Lynn that I use every day now because I am an empath. When I'm around a lot of people, I used to come home before I learned this. Before COVID, I would come home and I would be so angry, and I was taking in anger from other places and other people.
Yes.
But then when I heard Susan Lynn talk about that mirror shield and how you put the mirror all around you before you leave your house, and then Jen said, what did she say? Oh, shields up. And then I also asked Archangel Michael to put a bubble of protection around me. Good. They don't bother me anymore at all. Oh, that mirror thing works.
That is amazing. I mean, I agree with that. Just like I had a really hard time doing some of the mirror work where I talk in the, that's another section of it, putting a mirror and standing there and I love you, you're wonderful, all that stuff. And,
you are wonderful.
Well, I know, but we all need to do that. We all need to say to ourselves, that we're here and we're doing good. And because we tend to look in the mirror and go, oh, look, I got a wrinkle or my gray hair or whatever, we criticize ourselves. And so having that mirror for the shield is great because it bounces back
it bounces the
what
energy
they're projecting
back to whatever. And so it really doesn't come into me.
That's awesome.
That's probably one of the best things I've learned. Since COVID started. I mean, I knew that I couldn't be around a lot of people at once. And one time I volunteered to do a shrimp festival or something. And I was supposed to be helping the bartender. That would be fun, right? You're in the little bar. No, they put me out in front of everybody. And I was supposed to ask people what their what their zip code was. And I had like 2,000 people coming at me. And man, when it was over, I could barely crawl home. It was,
I bet.
I just, so now, having that mirror protection, I can go anywhere now.
It's like people grasping at you, like, oh, I need you, oh my God, that's awful, Jenny. I would, because sometimes I don't go to the mall at all, ever. But when I happen to, like somebody says, we need to stop here, I have to go home and take a really hot shower and just get rid of all that. I can't take it. It's too much.
And also every time I get in my car, my friend taught me this a long time ago. Every time I get in my car, once I shut the door, I ask the angels to put white light of protection around my car.
Yes.
And then sometimes I'll say, if I'm feeling, if I need a little bit more, I'll say, please put an angel in the front and an angel in the back. And then I'll say, and protect all the cars around me, all the people around me, all the bicycles around me, and all the critters around me.
Right.
And that makes me feel better. I think it works.
Absolutely. A friend of mine who
suggest that everybody start doing that. Just
I
put
agree.
A white light around your car.
A friend of mine who is a psychic, not on YouTube really, but she was driving home from an event and she hit a 6-point buck. I believe it was in Ohio. She hit this. Yeah, her whole car was totaled. She didn't have any problem at all. She walked away from that. She could have really been killed. And
Yeah, so
yeah,
I always add deer to that too. There's so many deer,
yeah,
and you know,
yep.
I don't want to hit a deer. I don't want to hurt a deer.
I know. Me either. I love them dearly. Yeah. I remember my daughter and and when she was a young girl, the car in front of me got hit a deer, and the deer was crawling on its, try to get across. Oh my God. We were bawling our eyes out. And so I remember calling the police and telling them, please get somebody out here to, put this deer out. Wait, that's not a problem. That's not, we'll
Yeah,
get
my
there
brother
eventually.
taught me that if you do hit a deer, you're supposed to call the police and wait for
Yeah.
the police, and then the police will put the deer down.
Yeah, they
And
need
then
to.
around here, the firemen come and get them and use them for food, which is good.
I'm sure they do.
Waste the animal.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. I'm sure. And they probably, strap them on the top of their car and say, look what I got, People are so
I don't know.
wacky.
We've got alligators too. Oh my God.
Oh, I know you do. Yeah, that's kind of a scary situation.
The alligators are in the ponds and that are on the golf courses. So as long as you don't walk your small dog next to a pond, you're okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no. With me, it was where I was keeping the RV and I have my puppy. The landlord said, be careful because she's little and there are eagles here. And that's lunch, so I had to be really, really careful. Yeah. So Tracy Ralph says there's been a lot of good with some of the isolation. It gave her a chance to work on her own life's growth and lessons and my spirit, but I'm ready for things to get back together again. I agree. I think we all went through that. Obviously for you got depressed. I was depressed. I had to shift everything over to all online stuff. And, I had to convince my husband, it took weeks to stop working because he was over 65. And, and then, it was just this miraculous finding of this community by starting out with Andrea from Lilac Lantern. That's the first person I saw. And it was just such a nice feeling.
Well, I started off with like Amanda Ellis because I was watching a lot of people in the UK, in other parts of the world. And then when I found this community, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're in America. They're in the United States. They're doing it here. And
Absolutely.
I've been watching Amanda Ellis like for, I don't know, at least a year and didn't know.
Yep.
But yeah.
I watched her for a little while, but she started bugging me with some of the things she was saying, so I just couldn't watch anymore. But
well, some of those people I had been listening to, I noticed that they were going down the wrong path, so I stopped listening to them.
Yeah, that's using your discernment, really. Yeah, it doesn't mean people can't have an alternative view. That isn't, that's not a problem. It's just, if it doesn't resonate, it doesn't resonate. Yeah.
No, some of them were cues. They turned out to be cues, and at first you didn't know that. Yep. And then they'd say something. I'd go, "Oh, wait a minute. Uh-oh."
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That's right. So Anja Ashdown says, when she drives all around the blind curves leading to the nearest highway, I command all the critters stay safe in the woods because I'm driving. She says they got bear, deer, coyote, all kinds of animals. Well, that's a great thing. That's a great thing. Yeah.
Well, about the animals. So if some people say that animals are angels, so an angel can speak to an animal and get it to do something. So the angel can speak to the deer and tell it to go the other way or tell it to not cross the road.
Yeah.
So they can do that if you ask them. But you have to ask for help. Every day you have to ask for help.
Yep.
They can't help you unless you ask.
Unless you ask. I know, they can't intrude.
So I like to, one of my favorite things to do is I like to cross over ghosts. I love doing that. So I go to Savannah and walk around at night and tell any of the ghosts, if you want to go to the light, go to the light. Because the angels can't really get to the
The strays.
spirits that are stuck, but they
Yeah.
can see us and they can hear us. So, you know, I love to do that. I can't see them, but I know I feel them.
Yes.
And yeah. So
did you see
I
Susan?
really love doing that.
Did you see
And
Susan
I love when
yesterday?
Susan Lynn does it.
Yeah, I know.
She's so good at that.
She is.
That's a talent.
Oh,
Yeah.
so Shield Maiden said, pray for the animals stranded on Canary Islands. There's a volcano eruption. I did not know that today. So yes, absolutely. I would stop and say, absolutely. We need to pray for those animals. I'm sorry. They had nowhere to go to get off. Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And at night, I'd love to like send out love to the world. I like when I'm meditating, after I'm finished, I'll just, you know, bring love in and then send it out to wherever it's needed. And that, that makes me so happy.
Sure.
You know?
It's
and
very
you know,
uplifting. Yeah.
You know,
it's uplifting for them and you. Yes.
You don't know who it's helping, but it's going to help somebody.
It is. Yeah. It's like the karma bus. They will take care of itself. You don't need to lament over something. You know, they're saying now, Bob Brunn just said that karma is pretty much going away, but I still think people need to be responsible. People still need to be responsible. Yeah.
Yeah. I've had a really bad temper and I'm an Aries woman. And so I have really learned how to not go there.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. That's fascinating. I have a brother that's an Aries, and he's always had a really bad temper. And my April Joy is an Aries, and she's got a bad temper.
Well, we have bad tempers, but it blows up, but then it goes right away. We don't.
It goes away. Okay.
But other people around us don't like that too much.
Yeah, I know.
They're like, what? They're like, hey.
What's your rising sign, Jenny? Do you know?
I'm Libra, and then I can't remember if the other one is Cancer or Virgo. I can't remember. But yeah, my mother actually wrote down my birth date and my birth time in this little baby book, and I found it about a year ago. I'd never seen it before.
Oh wow!
So I have my exact time of birth.
Yeah, exact time. Yeah. Gosh, that's wonderful. That's really great. How has the Tarot Love community helped, if at all?
Oh, so much. It helps with everything. Yeah. Keep me sane. I love, so it taught me, I'd already had tarot readings by someone here starting in 2010, but so it made me want to do it myself. And then I started buying tarot cards, you know. My favorite cards are the Metatron cards. I love those cards, but there's so many cards, you know, especially the ones that come out of this community. They're really good.
Oh yeah. Like Andrea.
We have so many great artists.
Oil painter. Yeah. There's a lot of really wonderful cards here.
I bought some from Oil Painter. I highly recommend those.
Yeah. I know it. So, are you in need of anything from us? Are you in need of anything? Compassion?
I just need to stay connected with everybody, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm in need of like meeting everybody in person.
That would be nice. Yes. Absolutely.
Great.
Yeah. So I'm going to open this up to you and see if there's anything else you want to talk about.
Well, I talked about the ghosts in Savannah. I have remembered about 3 past lives on my own, and I could never read a book about the Civil War. I could never watch a movie about the Civil War. It made me so upset. And then I've been going to Savannah since I was like 14 years old. And when I get there, I get obnoxiously happy. And I go, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. And then when I get there, I don't want to leave. You got to pull me out of there. And so I figured out, I've had a life there. So it turns out that I was a white woman during the Civil War, and I lived in downtown Savannah, and I was part of the Underground Railroad. So that to me is really, really close and dear to my heart. And now I have reincarnated in an island close by, where the island is the home to former slaves, the Gullah Geechee people, and I know a lot of them. And I've actually met people that I knew before. And when you meet them, it's like you get kicked in the chest, and
Oh
you're like,
yeah.
"Whoa, where did
Soul
that come
soul
from?"
recognition is amazing.
And I've been
Yeah.
able to like heal a couple of lives that way. The first time I
Great.
lived in Savannah was 1820, and I died in a fire. And I went and regressed and went back through that again and remembered it. And
Hmm.
I was so angry. I was 16 years old and I was supposed to get married, and I couldn't get out. And there was this huge fire in 1820, and I
Wow.
was angry at God because
Mhm.
why are you cutting my life short? So I was able to heal, and actually, when I was doing all that, I guess that's shadow work maybe, or some kind of work,
Yeah,
spiritual
in
work.
a way it is. Past life
I
shadow work.
manifested a burn on my face right
Wow.
here. I'm like, and so then I had to go, okay, this is nothing. This is just, coming out of me. And I could have really gone wacky because it was big. And 3 days later, it just kind of fell off. And
Oh my.
so, you can heal your past lives,
You
and you
can.
can meet people from your past lives. And I think it's really, I don't know, interesting how so many people, bad and good, that were alive here in the Civil War and in government
Hmm.
have come back at this
I
time.
know. I agree with you.
Bad and good. A
100%.
lot
I
of
do.
good.
Yep,
We need to focus more on the good people.
we do.
Like Stacey Abrams.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot of really good people that
There
used to be
are.
here either at the beginning of the country or during the Civil War.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
we're spiritually fighting that battle again. You know.
I watched and sent money to Jamie Harrison because I wanted, he
Yeah.
was, oh my God, he's a
Yeah.
wonderful
We wanted
guy.
him to win.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I was really I'm glad they made him the Democratic Party chair. But I don't know, that
Well,
it's
with
very
all the
strange.
gerrymandering, I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's not the Southern people; it's the cheating and the
Yeah.
gerrymandering
You're right.
of
Yes.
the counties.
Yes.
That's what's doing it. It's not really,
Hmm.
I'm sure the same thing in Texas. It's not everybody in this state is like that. In
Right.
fact, most of these people are really loving, wonderful people.
Sure.
But
Sure.
that gerrymandering, that's got to stop.
It does. But they won't even pass the bill. For doing that. What's his name from Georgia that passed away? That had. Yeah. I don't
Oh yeah.
understand. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Oh,
um,
what's his? I wish I could remember his name because he's wonderful. John Lewis. John Lewis.
oh
John
yeah,
Lewis.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that the people that are coming back now, they're coming back to right the wrong, and I
Right.
don't think that the evil ones are going to win. I think that the light is going to win,
I
and
hope
and
this time it has
I
to.
truly
Yeah.
believe that.
Yeah. Yep.
But we still got to be vigilant and send out that love all the time.
Right. We do.
Even to
We
the people we
absolutely
don't
do.
like.
It's funny. My father, bringing up the Civil War, my father was a big Civil War buff. And of course, we were from New England. So he was always, but we went to Gettysburg and other places. But when I moved to Virginia, he went into the bookstore and he went to the magazine rack and he said, one whole section of this was like in the 80s. One whole section of the magazine rack was the Southern perspective of the Civil War. He was
I know.
amazed.
So I grew up in
Yeah.
Virginia. I
Okay.
I grew up thinking that Thomas Jefferson was a saint.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so was everybody else. And not until, the past several years did I realize, well, that's not true at all.
That's right.
Robert E. Lee, we thought Robert E. Lee was a
Oh,
saint
yeah.
too, because
Yeah.
that's the way the history books had written, how
Absolutely.
they had written those particular history books. And
Yeah.
and that's the way they bring you up. And then when I moved to Atlanta, oh my gosh, they thought I wasn't even Southern because I was from Virginia. They're definitely in the deep South. And they
Absolutely.
still think, when I moved there and it was like 1990, they were still talking about holding a grudge for women that got raped when the Northerners came through and burned Atlanta. They haven't forgotten. I mean, they're holding on to that.
Yeah.
And it shocked me.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. And it really isn't because of the poor women. It's because the Northerners took their women and did what they did. And so, and I'm not, there's probably they don't really care about what happened to the women. That's not what I'm sensing when you say
Yeah,
that.
I know what you're
Yeah.
saying. But
Yeah.
then on the other hand, there's some really, really good stories like in an island near, well, it's Beaufort, South Carolina. Robert Smalls, he was a slave, and he escaped and stole a southern ship and took it to the north and handed it over to the north. And then they made him the captain of that ship, and he sailed all through the Civil War fighting for the North. And he is famous down here. That man
Oh,
is
wow.
famous.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
that's
and then
fabulous.
Hilton Head is there was during the Civil War, General Mitchell came down here, and there was 10,000 soldiers that landed here and took over the island. And then General Mitchell freed the slaves, and then they had their own town. They named it Mitchellville here. And most people don't know this. This is the place where the slaves were freed first. And Harriet Tubman came down here to see how Mitchellville was running, because they were running their own town. It's really important, and it's just starting to get out now. But a lot of really good things happen too. So I don't want to sound too negative.
No, I know. But while you were talking, I was, I knew this probably subconsciously, but as you were talking and you were talking about, the lies and the stories about the Civil War from the Southern perspective and how they still hold grudges and everything, I thought to myself, oh my God. So that was the first lie. And now they've all come back, as you say, and been reincarnated, and they're just perpetuating the lie all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, but this time we're going to stop it. It's not going to succeed.
I agree.
Not going to succeed. And this will be the last time. It's coming up. It's going to get healed. This is the last time.
And, I agree. I agree. We just have to be vigilant and stay in a higher vibration. Something I read the other night, and it said that we were, we already talked about with everybody about we were all brought here at this time to uplift humanity and and all that. But the other thing was that the full transition is working towards an end at 2032, which I didn't know there was like that out there date. So we're kind of here early, let's say. And I thought that was fascinating as well, because it doesn't happen overnight. But as far as the shift from 3D to 5D, yeah.
But there's more light workers here than there are the bad,
Yeah, I agree. So, no, I do.
Yeah, it's gonna be fine.
Absolutely.
We just gotta, even send light even to the darkest places, and that's a hard thing to decide to do. But once you decide to do it, it becomes a lot easier.
Yep. And I don't know, when Susan introduced me to the Ho'oponopono.
That's great.
That really helped me in a myriad of ways. It had me pretty much directing all of my energy to a person and stating that person's name over and over again. And it was interesting. There was a shift. It just didn't stay there because this person is pretty dark. So, yeah. But it's wonderful.
Yeah. Well, if you keep sending light to somebody that's bothering you in your life, you keep sending them light, eventually they'll either get into the light with you or they'll go away.
That's right. That's what I'm hoping for this particular. Yeah, I understand. This particular person has nothing to do with YouTube. This is just somebody I'm dealing with, and so is my husband. So it's been hard.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. The widow. Yeah. Yep. Still making it almost impossible, but anyway, it's okay. We'll get there. Yeah. Well.
Okay.
This is wonderful, Jenny. Thank you so much.
I hope I didn't bore anybody or things like that. And I just want to tell everybody in the chat, I love all you guys. I love chatting with you. For a long time, I didn't enter the chat. I mean, I didn't say anything, but then I started doing it. And all of you are such wonderful people. I just want to send you some love and tell you I appreciate your friendship in the chat.
Yes. That's one of the best things about being here, that people are so good to each other. Let me see. It's Ho'oponopono. I think that's how you say it. It's a Hawaiian prayer, Michelle. And it's, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you. I love you.
I love
That's
you.
what it is. It's 4 lines. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And as Ron says, the dark is scared of the light. And that's so true. That's what we're seeing now, especially with these. I was watching, like you do, the little clip on YouTube, a news clip, and it was Jamie Raskin, love him, interviewing and talking to Jim Jordan and Matt Gaetz. And he was fat. He ripped them a new one. I tell you, he did exactly what Jim Jordan does every time he interviews somebody. And he just kept going and going and going. And I thought, boy, oh boy, I love that guy.
Yeah, I
It
do
was
have a
great.
hard time. I have to admit, I have a hard time with Matt Gaetz. I mean, I have a really hard time with him.
Yeah.
I somehow, I can't send him much love.
Yeah, I know.
I'll try though. I'll try.
Yeah. He looks like Herman Munster to me. But you've got that.
Eyes.
Yeah. Isn't Madison Cawthorn from?
Boy,
He is a frat boy. Isn't Cawthorn from there in South Carolina too?
Who?
Or is that Madison Cawthorn? Wasn't he from South Carolina?
I don't think
No,
so.
the guy that's in a wheelchair and he's about 25 or 35 or something. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. Doesn't matter. We don't have to talk about negative people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Send
Absolutely. Thank you. Well,
love.
everybody's sending you love, and
thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks everybody in the chat. You have a great day.